Indie Comics Deep Dive with Mona and Sam.
Welcome back, everyone.
I'm Sam, and I am incredibly relieved to be back behind the mic today.
It is very good to have you back. I'm Mona, and I have to say, the studio was a little too quiet without you. Well, quiet in one sense, and absolutely chaotic in another.
Right. I feel like I owe you and everyone listening a quick explanation.
Okay.
I missed the actual recording session with Len Mihalich, the publisher behind Lenovations, and honestly, my excuse is so ridiculous it sounds like I hallucinated it during a fever dream.
Oh, I have the data on this, but I think for the sake of the narrative, the world needs to hear you say it out loud.
Okay, so I was booked to teach a class. Sounds prestigious, right? It was at a regional cheese festival.
A noble pursuit. Cultured, one might say.
It started well.
Yeah.
We were talking flavor profiles, aging processes, the difference between a sharp cheddar and a mild brie. And then we got to the local artisan section.
Oh, no.
Someone brought in what they called, and I'm quoting here, basement-made experimental Gouda.
Basement-made is rarely a descriptor you want associated with unpasteurized dairy products.
It really isn't, and experimental is even worse.
Yeah.
So long story short, I sampled the wares, and I spent the last few days in a very dark room, questioning every life choice that led me there.
Oh, wow.
So while I was fighting for my life against rogue bacterial cultures, you had to fly solo with Len.
I did, and fly solo is a generous way to put it. I stepped in to record the preview video with Len for the 2026 lineup.
Right.
And let me tell you, for a guy who publishes books for a living, his podcasting skills are, let's just say, developing.
That bad.
He's passionate. He is incredibly enthusiastic, but he definitely needs a producer. At one point, he told me I could sit and watch, provided I didn't heckle him.
And so you heckled him.
Naturally, I heckled him immediately.
As is, you're right. It's part of the dynamic. You can't just let an indie publisher run wild on a microphone.
Exactly. It was a mix of fun and just absolute chaos. He's got this energy.
Yeah.
I'd work with him again, for sure, purely for the entertainment value, but I think I need a recharge cycle before that happens.
Today is a special episode.
Very special. We're introducing someone who completely out-nerded us at a convention.
Which is not easy to do.
No, it isn't.
So we're walking the convention floor, and we see this incredibly accurate Miss Fire cosplay.
The costume was flawless. The boots, the hair, the attitude.
And before we could even say hello, she starts apologizing about the costume. She's telling us that the first few issues of Section 12, Miss Fire had ripped her sleeves and leggings. It was never explained and later disappeared.
I never noticed that.
Me either.
That's when we knew we had to talk to her.
Her name is Jenna. Welcome to the show.
Hi. I still can't believe I'm sitting here right now.
Jenna, you absolutely earned this.
Jenna, tell everyone how long you've been reading Lenovations Press comics.
Since the original Section 12 run with Dilemma Productions, I've tracked down all those early issues of Dilemma Presents from 1994. I even have their original ash can of the first issue with the black and white cover. Michael Kelleher only printed up a handful of those. They were so hard to find, but I managed to get one.
Of course you did.
You corrected me about Nite-Fall's origin in under 10 seconds.
Everyone forgets he has raccoon DNA too, which makes him like to eat trash.
I always forget the raccoon.
What do you love most about the Section 12 universe?
The characters, the powers, those moments when everything explodes on a splash page. I live for that stuff.
So you're less about structure and more about energy.
Exactly. I want the big reveals, the powers, the showdowns.
I've heard you say you felt Whitney and Batterson were underused in early Section 12 stories.
The stories leaned toward Nite-Fall and Miss Fire. I get that they're fan favorites, they're flashy and easier to build big moments around. But I always felt that Whitney Thorne and Lieutenant Batterson were destined for larger roles.
You know, Len actually mentioned to us that his new novel really shifts the focus towards Batterson and Whitney Thorne.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we've talked with him about it.
You've talked with Len?
Yes, a few times.
Like actual conversations?
With words and everything.
I did a show with him. He was a lot.
I can't get over that. You two know the publisher of Lenovations Press.
You know they sponsored this show.
Jenna is outing herself as a super fan right now.
What's he like? I've always wanted to meet him at a show. Is he intense in person? Does he outline everything years in advance? I bet he tracks all his characters in spreadsheets like I do.
Those are a lot of questions.
I'm sorry, I've watched interviews, and I still have so many questions, especially about long-term plans for Batterson.
You're analyzing strategy?
Of course I am.
Would you want to meet Len someday?
Yes.
That was fast.
I'd love to meet him, even just to geek out for 5 minutes.
We might be able to make that happen.
Please don't say things like that unless you mean them.
Jenna, quick lightning round. Of the 3 Section 12 titles, which one is your favorite? Flashback, Declassified, or Lost Adventures?
Choose wisely.
That's not fair.
You can only pick one.
Flashback is the pure concept. It's the raw idea. Scientific failures, a blackmailed retrieval team, that whole 1994 secrecy vibe. That's foundational.
It's origin energy.
Declassified is mystery and conspiracy. There's so much more to learn. It's a treasure hunt for something that might not even exist anymore. Big mythology.
And Lost Adventures?
Lost Adventures might actually be my favorite series.
Really?
Because it feels personal. Some of these stories were almost lost when the industry shifted. Small publishers collapsed, and Section 12 disappeared. Now these stories finally have a place to be told. That's earned. Lost Adventures also seems to have become a place for bringing back other publishers' lost characters. And a place to have fun. Like the go-kart story was one of my favorites. Just silly and fun.
I love that one too.
Flashback builds the world. Declassified expands the myth. Lost Adventures proves the creators never gave up.
That sounded well rehearsed.
It was not.
Jenna, we have to ask, how did you feel about the Section 12 crossover with Tomorrow Girl?
Yes, the Antarctic special. 3 issues. Big event energy. This was the first Section 12 miniseries. That was a big deal for this publisher. I loved it.
No hesitation there.
Not at all. Lenovations Press took one of the flagship characters from Antarctic Press and dropped her straight into 1994 Washington, D.C. Section 12 chaos.
What worked for you?
First, the art contrast. Tomorrow Girl is an American manga character drawn much differently than Section 12. The differences in the art made it great. Phil Miller's artwork in this is like God-tier Silver Age style. Everyone who is a fan of Tomorrow Girl must have loved seeing her rendered like this for half the story. Then there was the other half. When Miss Fire and Nite-Fall went into Tomorrow Girl's world, I was like, don't, but do, because I want to see what you look like when Antonio draws you.
What about everything that happened with Miss Fire? Lucy finally meeting someone who feels like a peer, someone who isn't afraid of her powers.
That cell scene where they start becoming friends, that mattered. Then we find out the secret with her name. Mind blown.
So much to unpack.
Then in the last issue, they go to Tomorrow Girl's world.
Going undercover at Quagmire High School and Nite-Fall loving school lunches.
Because he loves to eat trash.
Fun fact, the place where they go get bubble tea.
Yes, it is a real tea store in New Bedford, Massachusetts.
It's called Besties.
I know. I went there. They did a Besties edition with bonus pages and a Living Rocket cameo.
You actually went there.
Of course. I had to have the Besties edition. I collect this stuff, Mona. I need it all.
What did you think about the end?
Wow, yes. When Miss Fire held Nite-Fall's hand at the end, I just melted. I had literal goosebumps.
Tell the truth. You cried, didn't you?
A little.
Really?
Yeah, because Nite-Fall, has had a crush on her forever. And finally, Lucy sees him in a different light.
That's actually beautiful.
I get invested.
That's why we like you.
Jenna, so far you've only talked about Section 12. But Lenovations Press has a lot of other titles.
Lenovations Press is not a one-book company.
I know. I could talk Section 12 all day long.
What else are you reading from them?
Let me think. Wild West Adventures of Buffalo Bill is highly underrated. The artist, sorry, I'm blanking out on his name.
Alexander Bozic, who likes to be called Ski.
Yes, Ski brings a special look to Buffalo Bill you won't find in any other Western. It just fits.
Really?
Yes, it hits with a completely different vibe, but the world building is every bit as tight as Section 12. Oh yeah, and I love all the Easter eggs. You want me to list them?
No, we're good.
Also, Avenger New Blood. This is the comic book that got Phil Miller and Jeff Austin into the National Cartoonist Society finals. I love that this comic takes a Golden Age concept and recontextualizes it without losing the 1950s energy. And Mono Ardell's modern-day scenes were perfect.
You just explained it better than most reviews.
Also, Red Mask Rides Again is such a fun revival. It feels like it shouldn't work, but it does. I did a cosplay as Black Phantom when that comic came out.
Wait until you see her in issue 2.
What?
You get to read these comics early, don't you?
Forget I mentioned it.
What about Tracksuit Man?
Pure chaos. I love that it exists in the same publishing house as Section 12. It proves the motto is real.
The motto?
Comics done for fun. You can feel it across all the books.
You came well prepared for this interview.
I've been looking forward to it. I'm a big fan of this show, too.
Your enthusiasm is so contagious.
So Mona and I have been talking.
And we decided to do something bold.
Jenna, would you be willing to sit in with us from time to time as our official superfan in residence?
Wait, seriously?
Yes, seriously.
I will absolutely do that. I will over-prepare with tons of stats and trivia. I can bring my charts.
We know.
If the audience loves you, then who knows?
You might eventually move into the role of guest host.
Oh my gosh. Don't tease me like that.
We're not teasing.
Welcome to the team, Jenna.
Thank you. This is honestly a dream.
And to everyone listening.
Remember to like and subscribe.
And be warned, there will absolutely be spoilers when Jenna is around.
So many spoilers.
We'll see you next time on Indie Comics Deep Dive with Mona and Sam.
And Jenna!